Hi, everyone. It's Starlyn. And today I am going to be interviewing my son, who is turning 18 in just a few days. And by the time you hear this episode, he will already be 18. And I thought it would be really interesting for all of you to have a chance to listen to us and to our conversation. And one of the things that I talk a lot about as a parenting coach is that being a mom is a relationship, not a job, that we are in a relationship with our kids and that we don't need to judge our performance based on how our kids perform. So, if our kids behave and act really well, we think, oh, we must be really good moms. Or if our kids, make mistakes or fail, we look at their behavior and we think, oh, we must not be a very good mom. And I just don't think about parenting that way at all. I really think about the quality of my relationship with my kids and how connected we are as proof of whether I'm doing a good job or not. And also how emotionally literate they are and whether they are able to really reflect and have awareness about themselves and the ability to self-regulate, manage their emotions and, communicate, set goals, reach those goals, things like that. So this episode is going to be my conversation with Lincoln about how he reflects on his childhood, how he reflects on being raised by me and by his dad, and just where he's at this point in his life. So I hope you love this episode and introducing Lincoln Childress. All right, Lincoln, here we go. We're going to start our podcast episode.
Good. It's fun.
It is fun. So I'm going to ask you questions and you're going to give me answers. Mm-hmm. You kind of know the general idea of the questions.
I've heard I know kind of what they're going to be about, but I don't know the specifics.
Yeah. And I haven't heard your answers.
Yeah.
So I want you to be okay, being honest.
Okay.
It's fine.
Yeah.
And just say what you want to say and talk about what we want to talk about.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're doing this podcast episode because you're turning 18.
Yes.
And once this goes live to all the people, you will already be 18.
Yes.
Yeah. So I want to ask you, what does 18 mean to you? What does that number mean to you?
That's a difficult question. But 18, I think to me, it means it's the end of sort of a big section of my life. For me, it feels like it comes with a lot of responsibility and a lot more expectation. I have to be something. I have to start being something now.
Does it feel like pressure turning 18?
Yeah, it feels like pressure.
It's funny because we decided somewhere along the way that 18 was an adult.
Even though now I can get arrested, but I can't drink.
Right. You can vote, but you can't smoke.
But no.
Yeah.
No cigarettes.
But I was more thinking about how we made this time 18. It was before 18 was an adult and before we had MRIs, before we understood the brain development. And for you, you're not finishing high school right now.
No, I still have a whole year.
Yeah, you have another year, so you'll be at home. But there is something in our society about turning 18. So for you, it feels like you have, you need to be something. There's some sort of expectation.
Yeah, there's pressure to be something now.
Yeah.
I can't just be a child.
Where does that pressure come from? Does it come from Dad and I, or?
It comes from a lot of places. I don't think it comes from one place in specific. It comes from, definitely from you two. Not very much, but it feels like it does. From just, I don't know, our culture, I guess. Mm-hmm. And from myself as well.
Yeah. So you are making this birthday mean something for you.
You
want it. It sounds like you want it to mean something.
I do want it to mean something. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because if I don't, then I'm just going to get stuck feeling the same and doing the same thing.
Yeah. So it's a nice opportunity to
It's like a New Year's.
Yeah.
It's starting something else.
Okay. I love that. So here's one of the questions my clients asked. They wanted to know, what was your worst consequence? And I want to think about it like this, essentially what's something that we did that at the time you did not like at all, but now you're glad that we did?
Um, I don't really know how to answer the first part
Mm-hmm.
because I don't have a memory of a consequence that was like
Like a terrible
that was
consequence.
way greater than the other ones.
Yeah.
I,
You
I, I
had a
can,
lot of little consequences. Like I'd say,
yeah,
Lincoln, you're welcome to stay in this hot tub as long as you don't splash your brother. And then
yeah,
you'd splash your brother. And I'd be like, looks like you need to get out of the hot tub. Like
yeah,
those kinds of things. But
yeah.
you didn't have any big doozies.
I don't have something where it's like, oh, I was grounded for a month, or I got my non-existent phone taken away.
Your brother actually, whenever he does this episode, he has a lot. But yeah. Okay. So what was something that we did that at the time you didn't like a limit that we had that you were like, no, I do not like this. But now and later when you got older, you were like, yeah, no, I'm glad they did that.
Definitely not being allowed to play video games till I was 12.
Yeah.
I didn't understand the reason for it until probably about 2 years ago.
Yeah. And it was a little extreme. So one of our rule, right? It was our rule was that Lincoln couldn't play video games till he was 12. And partly that's because he has a younger brother who's 2 years younger. And we really didn't want him to start until
he was 10.
Till he was 10.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, it's not fair. But what we decided as a family was that you could start playing at 12 and that then he could start playing at 10. I don't want any moms listening to think like, oh, I'm supposed to not have my kids play video games till 12. I never want to tell you what to do. This was the right choice for our family. And it was also before the pandemic. So, it wasn't like we had to occupy our kids for hours at a time. We had lots of options. And some of my thoughts about screen time have changed over the past 6 years. So, yeah, but what was that like for you to wait for so long? Because I remember you were 8 and Minecraft had come on the scene and your friends were starting to play.
Yep.
And you were like, I want to play Minecraft. And we said no.
Yeah.
And then you continued to ask for the next 4 years.
Annoying. Because I got
Was it just annoying or more?
It was frustrating. It was annoying.
Yeah.
It didn't seem fair.
Mm-hmm.
I got to watch, all my friends have fun playing together and playing video games after school and whatnot and talking about it at recess and stuff. And I just had to kind of watch on the sidelines, be like, yeah, that sounds nice.
Yeah. So how'd you handle that? Like, what did you do to cope with that rule?
I smoked a lot of cigarettes.
Oh my gosh. No, you guys, that's not true. What?
I just got mad at you guys a lot.
Yeah. Did you go to the library or something? What did you do?
Oh yeah. Because I was like, well, if I can't play now, I might as well learn everything I can about the game. So when I can play, I won't be behind.
Oh, did that work out?
I'm very competitive when I play like games and stuff like that. It did work out. Yeah.
And you probably could talk to the other kids about it.
And I could. Yeah. That's what I went to the library and I would check out like the books on Minecraft and stuff like that. And I'd read all of those. And like whenever we take, like, I remember I'd have to come with you to take Sawyer to that the food thing.
Oh God.
And that was like the one time I'd get to like watch stuff on the iPad. So I just watch Minecraft videos for like 50 minutes or whatever, waiting in the lobby. That was like the best part of my day.
That's such a reality of childhood when you have a sibling, because you have to sometimes go to appointments and like wait for them and they have to wait for you and you have to like, there's a lot of waiting when you're a kid.
There is.
It's like a lot of mindless time where you are uncomfortably just waiting for your mom to be done or your brother to be done.
Yeah, I'm sure he had to wait for me for a lot of things too.
Yeah, so. That's interesting about childhood. So when did you said that this was something that was annoying to you, but now you're glad that we did that. So say about that. Like why are you glad that we had that rule?
I realized that it was probably a good thing.
When did you realize that?
Around when the pandemic started. And probably the beginning of my freshman year. It's like 2.5 years ago. Almost 3 actually. Because I'd start to see like kids at restaurants or out in public and they're just glued to their phone or to their iPad and stuff, and they're just not they're not doing anything else.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad I got to do other things when I
Yeah.
was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
My childhood isn't saved on a phone.
Yeah.
It's in my brain.
Oh, that's so cool.
And then also because like now, if I'm bored, I don't have to just turn on a device and play video games or watch YouTube or something like that. Which, I mean, even kids my age, I know that they don't know how to do they don't really do anything else.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I still do that stuff. I definitely still do that stuff, but I have options.
Right.
And
And
I
you
understand
know
those
how to
options.
occupy yourself, because we're talking about like kids waiting for a long period of time for their sibling or being bored or whatever. And
Yeah.
it's like when you get that brain candy right away, like, it's like that fast little kick, you're not really training your brain to find alternatives and to find solutions.
Right.
So we let you train your brain till you were 12.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. When did you get a cell phone? Do you remember?
Would that have been the 7th grade?
Yeah.
No,
Later.
8th grade. I didn't get a cell phone until 8th grade. I had a flip phone in 7th grade.
You did.
I was a 90s kid.
Which you never really charged or used.
No, and I left it in your car when you sold it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So you didn't have a phone. You didn't have an easy access to screens when you were little, and it was annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was.
And that's the thing, like whatever rules you set up as a family, as a parent, your kid doesn't really understand that they're good until they're much older, and maybe never, but you as the parent have to understand that it's good and worth it. But obviously you were angry with us and you were irritated. Oh yeah. Because I used to have that limit where you could complain about our screen time rules on Fridays from like 5:45 to 6 or 6 to 6:15.
I would every like people I would talk to my age back then, I would ask them if they played Minecraft, and I'd come up with like lists of people who played Minecraft to try to convince you to let me do it.
Yes, you had like a running list, and you'd be like, well, that now there's 67 on my list. I just met 2 more kids at Dojo Boom or whatever, that like an indoor jumping place. You're like, those 3 kids play Minecraft, like random children,
soccer team and stuff like that.
Anyone you met, you'd be like, do you play Minecraft? And then you would have this tally. And you'd bring me the tally on Fridays.
Yeah.
And I would say, you can complain to me about the rules from 6 to 6:15. I turn on the timer. And I would be in it when he was complaining. I'd be like, yeah, that's a really good argument. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I was thinking you were going to say that you asked your friends for advice of how to convince your parents to let you use Minecraft.
No, because their parents didn't really do that kind of stuff.
So they didn't have strategies. They didn't know. Yeah. Okay. I wanted to ask about this when you were a kid, because when you were really little, I yelled and I was really reactive. And then as you got older, I didn't yell as much. I would, speak like more like strongly to you. And I remember you and Sawyer, you would say like, stop yelling at me, or why are you yelling at me? And I would be talking like, boys, you need to get into the car now. Like, Lincoln is looking at me funny. Yeah. So I would be speaking firmly, but you guys would be like, why are you yelling at me? And I'm like, I'm not yelling at you. And so I wondered, what was that like for you when I would speak like that? Like, why would you interpret it as yelling? What was going on there for you?
It's probably because looking back on it, I can kind of notice the shift and tell when you changed your parenting style. Mm-hmm. But I couldn't in the moment because I was a kid. Yeah.
Yeah. So you would be like, stop yelling at me. And I wasn't yelling at you, but you experienced it as yelling.
Because it was the harshest thing you did. Mm-hmm. So, and I still knew that you were mad. Mm-hmm. And I don't think I knew how to interpret it as any other way than yelling.
Yeah. So you could tell, like, even if I was speaking like that, what could you read my emotion or something? What were you reading?
To a degree.
Yeah.
Not accurately, since I was pretty young.
Yeah.
But I could tell, like, oh, is she mad? Is she happy? Is she sad? Mm-hmm. I could tell based on how you acted towards me or talked or whatever.
Yeah. So if I was like, not yelling, but speaking that way, you experienced it like anger, like you could feel the anger that was underneath there.
Yeah. Even if there wasn't a lot.
Yeah.
I could still tell.
I always found it so interesting because you guys stop yelling at me. And I'm like, I'm not yelling at you. But what I think it sounds like you're saying is that you could sense the anger or the whatever was going on inside of me, whatever was going on inside of my emotions, it was still coming through.
Yes.
Like, this is like when I say, like, you can't fake calm. You could tell I wasn't like genuinely calm, genuinely like compassionate towards you and whatever. I was just like, get in the car. Like it felt like almost,
like
mean mom voice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Could you pick up on my emotions, or can you pick up on my emotions now, or can you pick up on other people's emotions?
I think I'm very emotionally intelligent now. I can read people fairly well.
Yeah.
With that kind of stuff. And back then I think I could too. I just couldn't. I could tell what people were feeling, but I couldn't figure out why.
Yeah, you can figure out the circumstance or whatever was causing it.
Yeah.
So you could you feel like you are good at naming emotions.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And like trying to figure out why they what might be causing them to feel this way.
Yeah.
And I think I'm pretty good at that.
Yeah. I'm curious, Lincoln, what period of time like was the hardest for you? What age or what grade was like the hardest in your
grade? I have my memories based
on grades. Yeah, of course. Okay. So what grade was the hardest for you, or that you remember thinking like you were struggling?
Definitely my freshman year. So what, I would have been 16.
I don't know.
I would have been 16.
More 15, so. I think. But what happened?
Yeah, my freshman year, definitely.
Yeah, what was going on in your freshman year that made it so hard?
I went into my freshman year and I started doing in band.
Yep.
And I found out pretty quickly I wasn't interested in doing that throughout high school. So I stopped.
Yeah.
And then I didn't have, like, at least from my grade and from my experience, when we all went into high school, everyone like scrambled to latch on to something, some sort of activity or like extracurricular thing or sport or some kind of like group or identity. And it sounds cliche, but it's pretty accurate, I think. Like one of my good friends, he did soccer and he just hung out with all the kids who did soccer. And I didn't know any of them, so I didn't hang out with them. Or like another one of my friends, he did track, so he just hung out with all the track kids. I didn't know any of them. I didn't want to hang out with them either. And then stuff like that, like band, if I'd stuck in with that, I'm sure I would have ended up hanging out with them, or just other classes and stuff like that. But
so you didn't feel like you had like a friend group when you got to high school?
No, I had friends.
You had friends, but you didn't know who to be with, like
a friend group.
Yeah.
And I think that is because going into high school, a lot of kids like latched onto something and made that their identity.
Yep.
And over my time in high school, that's lessened. Like people don't do that. And now in my junior year.
Yeah, because in the beginning, early adolescence, it's kind of like that, where kids are like, who am I? Who are my friends? Where can I feel safe? Who should I be hanging out with?
Yeah.
And so they find people that are like, we're the band kids, we're the soccer kids, we're the drama kids. And that is sort of the beginning of high school. You find that sort of center group. And it can be hard, you're saying, if you don't have a thing.
Right. And yeah, like I said, it sounds cliche, but like it happens.
Well, it's developmental because that's part of finding your identity, is figuring out, like, you base your identity on more of what you do, not so much of who you are, because you don't know who you are. Yes, exactly.
And I was dreading every single lunch because I'd just be sitting. I'd be with people, but I would be alone.
Yeah.
I was alone with people, and my friends were out somewhere else, or
they were in their own friend group,
were in
giggling about whatever they were doing.
And I was just kind of stranded.
And
then I don't know, over the pandemic, I think
everybody's friend groups got scrambled.
And then we got back, and now it's not like that anymore.
Everyone has it, as adolescence goes through, you don't have to base your identity so much on what you do. It is a little bit more of who you are.
Exactly.
Yeah, it kind of breaks my heart a little bit to think of you struggling, and I know that was true in eighth grade a little bit too. Just like,
It was the same in eighth grade to a much lesser extent,
yeah,
but it was still there.
yeah. And yeah, you're going to high school and you're like, I'm going to be in the band and this is going to be sort of my identity and this is going to be who I hang out with. And then you were like, I don't like band. And so you dropped it and we let you do that. But then you didn't have anything at the time to replace it with.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting because it's like as a parent, you think, oh, what's the hardest time for your kid? And we tend to think it's about our like,
yeah. What would you say without knowing what I just said? What coming into this blank, what would you say would be the hardest time for me?
Well, it's funny because I would say it was when you were being really aggressive, when you were like,
but that's just because it was hardest for you.
Yes, exactly.
I was having a good time.
Right.
I was smacking kids left and right.
You were not smacking kids left and right. But yes, it's like the truth is that adolescence and childhood have struggles within them. And it's not, the parent can't prevent that. And we can't protect you from all the pain, and nor are we supposed to. And that it can make us feel like we've done something wrong or we're bad because you're struggling, or you don't have a friend, or you don't have a friend group. I let you quit band and I shouldn't have, or I should have forced you to do something else. And it's like, that's just not, kids struggle, right? Like kids go through stuff, they grow. And that's what you're saying. It's like, you went through a hard time in your life. It had absolutely nothing to do with your parents. Interesting.
You guys were there.
We were there for you. Yeah, that is our role.
Yeah.
We can't make it stop, but you did talk to me about that. I remember you sharing like just that you weren't sure who you should be with. Like you have friends, but you were like, I don't know who like my friend group is.
Right.
Yeah. And we would talk about it, but yeah, the solution had to come from within you.
Yeah, I had to figure the solution for myself. You couldn't do it for me.
No, we can't. I really wish I could go and like tell all the kids, like,
I'm very glad you didn't try.
Be nice to this boy. Not that anyone's being mean to you. You weren't being bullied.
I wasn't getting bullied, like rejected or anything. Yeah. I just didn't have a place.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you found one over the years. Yeah. I'm curious, like, what did you learn from us, or like, what did we do right as parents? I guess that's my question. Like, what did you think we did well, or what are you glad we did as parents?
That is a tough question, because it's hard to know like really what you did looking back, because I was a kid then. So it didn't seem like you were doing anything special, because it's just what happened.
Yeah. But
I can kind of see more from like a third person point of view now of the past. Yeah. And I think it's mostly just the way you handled my emotions.
Yeah. Your emotions or your behavior, or what, or both, or what?
I think it's a lot of
like, how did I handle your emotions? What do you mean by that?
Like if I was mad about something, or if I was angry and that caused me to be, I was a bit of a nuisance as a kid, both, physically and whatnot.
Yeah.
Instead of getting mad at me for what I was doing, you helped me understand why I was doing it. And you understood why I was doing it. You dealt with the why, and you dealt with the not the action, but the cause of the action. Yeah. And what do you mean we dealt with it? Like, what do you dealt with it as in, you weren't just, I'm gonna punish you and I'm mad at you because you did this thing. It's more of, okay, well, you're mad about this, why is that? And you helped me understand how to identify that kind of stuff. Yeah. And identify that kind of stuff. What's that stuff? Emotions. Yeah. Yeah. So when you would misbehave, you are saying what we did well or what we did right was that we were like, what is going on here? Like, what is right. Instead of just focusing on the outside of it. Oh, he did this. We're going to punish him for it and then forget about it.
Yeah. Right. And
instead of trying to not fix it, but improve on it, I guess.
yeah. And like talk about, okay, you did this, you hit your brother, or you didn't do your homework, or, you want to quit soccer, or whatever, you left your water bottle, all the things,
Forgot my
right?
sweatshirt.
Yeah. you know, because you were feeling distracted, because you were feeling angry, because you were feeling hurt, because, um, so we would talk about the emotion and then maybe talk about a strategy to do, like, well, if you can't hit your brother,
Yeah.
what else? Or, okay, so you did lose your sweatshirt. Now what?
Why are you so distracted?
Yeah. Was there anything
how can we help you with being so distracted? Was there anything going on and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what you think we did well?
I think so, yeah.
Aw, that makes me happy.
That and, like keeping me off the streets and whatnot.
Yeah, for sure. Well, it's interesting because talking about how you're talking about, your behavior and us talking about your emotions. And it's like a big part of my journey as a parent was when you were aggressive, when you were 4, 5, you had these really long meltdowns, temper tantrums. I now call them big feeling cycles. And, they would last like 45 minutes. And
that's an eternity for a 4-year-old.
It was a long time for a mom too. And I didn't know how to handle them. And I was so really overwhelmed, and I would get angry, and I just, I tried all the things. And, you would hit other kids. I have some stories of some doozies of stories of you, getting into trouble at school and at the playground and at play dates and things. And it's interesting to me because like, you're so not like that anymore. No. It's like, you're the most gentle and mild person, and so loving that it's anyone who meets you, it's hard for them to even imagine you being like aggressive, like hitting somebody.
Can't imagine it.
Yeah. Like you don't remember this part of you.
No. And I think a lot of it is like, I'm blocking it from my memory as well.
Oh, goodness. You think? Maybe it's just being a little kid.
I think I'm also just a little kid.
Yeah.
But like, because you'll tell me like stories about it, and I'll be like, oh yeah, I kind of remember that. But it's not something I've ever thought about.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Well, I was wondering if you have any insight into what helped you, or what changed for you, or what was that process? Because I know that there are moms listening right now and they're feeling like, I have an aggressive kid. I have a kid who gets in trouble at school. I have a kid who's like hitting their sibling all the time. And, they're looking for answers and hope, and they want to know, like, is it always going to be this way? And am I raising a sociopath? Are they gonna like, hurt their friends when they grow up? And, we have a lot of fears as parents. And so I'm curious if you have any insight as to like what changed for you or what happened, even if you can't remember doing it.
I think the way you handled it, because I don't think getting mad at me was helping.
No, I tried that.
It didn't help. I think it would have just made it worse.
Yeah.
But I think what did help was you helping me like learn to regulate my emotions and my feelings and stuff instead of, getting mad at me for having those and for how I handled having those. I think that's what really helped me.
Yeah.
With that kind of stuff.
Do you think it took time?
It definitely took time.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, do you think it matters where those emotions come from?
What do you mean?
I don't know. Like, do you think it matters like why a kid is mad?
I think it does. I think it does matter to an extent. But I think the biggest thing is how you handle the kid being mad.
Yeah.
And whether or not you're just going to put yourself in a cycle of the kid's mad, then you get mad at the kid, and then the kid doesn't figure out how to not act out on his emotion.
Yeah. So that was like the key for you, was like your aggression was coming from emotions. That's how you understand it.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's beautiful. I love that. So do you think like one of my questions is, what is the most significant thing you learned from your parents? Maybe that's not it. And what is this most significant thing you learned from us?
hard work, dedication, turning things in on
This
time,
is not
being
true.
punctual.
None of these are these are things that your dad and I highly value that we don't see yet in you yet.
We can cut that.
No, we're not
I'm
cutting
going
it.
to Yale.
We're not cutting any of this. What is the most significant thing you've learned so far from your parents, besides all these emotional things?
Besides all the emotional things. I don't know if I can really honestly answer that question yet. I think I'm still I'm still living with you guys. You guys are still my parents.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're still the authority figure in my life. I don't think I'm independent enough yet. I'm not living on my own. I'm not an adult.
Yeah.
I think if you asked me this question again in 5 years, I think I'll be able to answer. But
that makes
I don't
sense.
think I can now. I think I'm still too close to all of it.
Yeah, it's kind of
still learning from you guys.
Yeah,
so
it kind of goes back to that whole being 18 thing. It's like it's sort of arbitrary number because you're an adult technically, but not a lot is changing in your life. You're in high school. You're not moving out. You're not like joining the army right now or anything. Yet, who knows? So yeah, it's like there's some questions you just can't answer because you're out of childhood in a lot of ways, but you're not out of adolescence.
No.
Yeah. So it's going to be tricky to answer some of the questions. That's fine. I love it.
Okay.
I'm curious if you like having a brother, because here's oh, you should see his face, people. He had a big, funny little smile. The reason why I wanted to ask about it is because sibling conflict and sibling relationships is such a big part of parenting, and it can be really draining. But as the person, now you have a very specific relationship with a specific person who's your brother, and he is his own little person. So I don't want you to think about it in terms of like specifically Sawyer, but more just like, do you like having a sibling?
I used to make a joke that the best years of my life were from 11 months to 2 years old. But that's just not true.
That was before your brother came into your life, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I
bet a lot of kids feel that way. They're like, before you came, but then does Sawyer not ever get a best period of his life because you were always there?
And his best period of his life is when I move out.
Oh, when you move out, he has to wait
like a year and a half of that.
So you kind of are sounding like the answer is no.
But I'm about to change that.
Okay.
I'm very glad that I was raised with a sibling.
Oh.
I think for me, it has been an overall good experience.
And what have you learned from having a sibling?
You learn a lot from having to live with someone your age. Something like there's just skills that every kid learns, like how I mean, this is going to sound very basic, but like how to share, how to get along with other kids, like just stuff like that.
Yeah.
And like you can learn that stuff to an extent from school and whatnot, but nothing teaches it better than having someone your age living in the same house as you.
Yeah.
With the same parents, and you're comparing yourself to them, and you're measuring water cups to see who gets more juice and stuff like that, and getting jealous because you got to play Minecraft when you're 12, but they got it when they were 10 and stuff like that. So it's, I don't know.
It brings up a lot of emotion, that's for sure.
It brings up a lot of emotion, and there was like a stretch of like 2 or 3 years where me and Sword did not have the best relationship, but we've definitely moved past that. I think. I'm pretty happy with where we are now, but I mean, like, overall it has been a good thing. I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, you and Sawyer, you fought a lot when you were little, and there was some physical stuff, but at some point, I think because you were very physically aggressive and we were parenting you really specifically to change that behavior.
Yeah.
That at some point it seemed like you learned to not hit him, to not be aggressive towards him. And it created a lot more peace, I think, in our family because
we still fought, but not physically.
Yeah, you didn't get physical.
No.
That can happen in some families where the kids will stay kind of physically aggressive for through elementary school. And
I think a big reason why we weren't is because I'm older than he is by a decent amount.
2 years. 2 years. Not it's pretty typical.
But I mean, like, we're not really close in age.
You're 1 grade apart and you're actually 22 months. It's very close.
Well, what I'm trying to say, it's not like we're twins or anything like that.
Oh, I see.
And also I'm a lot physically bigger than
him. You were bigger than him. Yeah. So you kind of knew you needed to temper yourself.
I knew that he wasn't my physical equal. Which that sounds bad.
No, it doesn't. It actually sounds like a lot of awareness at a young age that you were able to.
I knew that I didn't need to get into a physical fight with him because I knew what would happen and I didn't want to hurt him.
Yeah, you didn't want to hurt him.
Yeah. So I would let him hit at me and I'd just run.
Yeah. He wasn't all that physical.
No, he was.
Mama finds out the real truth.
He would kick me a lot and he would scratch me.
Yeah.
A lot of scratching.
So. Yeah, that's true.
It was like a cat. And just stuff like that. But most of the time, like when we did get into physical altercations, I would just run.
And back off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And probably that has a lot to do with the earlier coaching that you got from us of like, when you have big feelings.
Yeah, that's later on. I don't remember anything before the age of 5 years old.
Right. So you like having a brother?
I do.
Yeah.
I like having a brother.
I think I would imagine that as you guys get older, it will be nice for you to have had like a collective story together. Because one of my questions was, what is one of your favorite childhood family memories?
My favorite childhood memory with the family.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like something we did or a moment in time or I don't want to lead the witness, but.
Yeah.
Like just now, like, okay, favorite is so, I hate that word actually. It's
what's a good?
Yeah. What's one you remember? Like what's a good memory you have right now that you remember?
Honestly, my favorite family memory, I know what my favorite family memory is. It's over the pandemic when we went to Yosemite.
Oh yeah.
That's my favorite.
It was a very special.
It was very, very nice.
Yeah. And even though we had previously spent 5 months straight together, we still had a wonderful family vacation.
That was my favorite. That's my favorite memory.
It's so great because it's so you as well, because you also love the outdoors.
That's my favorite place in the world.
It's your favorite place. Yeah. And
that probably adds on to it. If we were in like Palm Springs or Temecula, then I mean, I don't think it would have been the same.
Some people like those places, but it's not for you. You like the woods. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to switch gears from childhood, and I'm going to ask you some questions about me.
Oh, okay. This will be fun.
I'm really nervous.
I'm going to answer real honestly.
I'm super nervous because I have no idea what's going to happen right now. Okay, what's it like to be my son?
Miserable.
Just stop. What is it like? Maybe it's miserable. Go for it. Tell me.
No, it's not miserable.
I don't even know if that's a well-phrased question, but
what is it like? Like in terms of what?
I don't know. Like
in terms of the rules you set, in terms of like what we do together, in terms of
all of it. Like you only have me. Person. I'm your mom, and like when it's all said and done, I'm it.
Yeah.
Your experience of being a son is between you and me.
Yeah.
So what's it like? Is it boring? Is it interesting? Is it fun? Is it hard? Is it annoying? Like
it's pretty good. I think you've been probably about as good as I could ask for in terms of a mother.
Yeah.
I mean, this is going to sound like really, like I said before, kind of cliche, but you're always there for me. I love having like conversations with you. You're very easy to talk to. I love doing stuff with you, like whether or not, we go on hikes or we watch shows, and I've been very busy lately. I'm sorry about that.
No, that's okay.
You've put like pressure on me and expectations and stuff, but it's never been overbearing. It's never felt like you're holding me back or stopping me from doing something that I really want to. You're very supportive, which I like.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, honey. Yeah. What's the most annoying thing about me? You can be as honest as you want. I'm ready.
Okay.
Oh, I don't know. Am I ready? Yes, I'm ready.
No, you're not.
Oh no. Okay, let's see what
The
happens.
most annoying thing about you is the jokes that you make.
Oh,
Oh my
I
gosh,
make bad jokes.
yeah.
I'm not. I think I'm hilarious, everybody.
Mhm.
Apparently, I'm not.
It's just
Are they like bad dad jokes kind of situation, or like I think I'm being funny and I'm not? Like
yeah. You do think you're being funny, and you're not, and you say something, and it just makes me want to,
cringe, like hide.
yeah, it's bad.
Well, if that's the most annoying thing about me, we were joking the other day because I was texting your brother and you were watching me like look at his grades and then text him.
That's annoying too, but I understand why you do it.
So what I did was I wrote the "we need to talk when you get home" text, and you were like, "Oh, I know how it's like to get that text."
Yeah, but that's
not annoying.
It's not annoying because it's either you have a reason to do it.
Yeah, but you know what it means when you get
Yes.
the "we need to talk" text. I just thought it was hilarious when you were like, "Oh, it's the 'we need to talk' text," and I was like, "Oh, that must be a thing."
Yeah.
Okay, I want to talk about your future a little bit, which I know you're not like, we're not at that stage where we're like, what's your major and where are you going to college? And
I told you, yeah.
yeah, Lincoln is not going to yell, everybody. I don't even want to talk about it like that. Like, what are your plans? I kind of want to think about like when you make life decisions, it now and in the future, like when you decide how to spend your time or you decide, what you want to do, like what are you using to decide? Like what are your things that you factor in? Like do you factor in your parents, what they are going to think? Do you factor in your peers? Do you factor in your intuition? Like how do you make decisions?
Big decisions?
Sure.
I definitely factor in whether or not I would be, living up to what I feel is your guys' expectations of me.
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not that actually exists, there is still a feeling of it. I'm sure every kid has a feeling that there's expectations for them from their parents.
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not I'd be happy
So you
with the
definitely
outcome of it.
seek that. Like, am I going to be happy with the outcome?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's a question you kind of
there is a bit of like peer influence on it as
Mm-hmm.
well. Like, is this like socially acceptable and stuff? I don't really know. I'm talking very vague. I don't have specifics.
No, that's okay. I'm just kind of
It's
curious.
It's a
like,
vague question.
Someone asked that, like,
how do I make decisions?
Yeah, and they were wondering if you
short-term decisions, I just flip a coin.
But yeah, like what do you prioritize? So it's like happiness, it sounds like are you gonna, what does that mean, happiness? Like, are you gonna be happy with the result?
If I'm not enjoying it when I'm doing it, or if I'm not going to be happy with how it turns out, I don't want to do it.
Oh, makes sense. Yeah, like another question was like, if there's rules in our house, like right now you're a teenager, so you have like curfew rules.
Yeah.
You have rules around spending money. We obviously have rules around like drug and alcohol use, things like that. We have some rules around grades. As you get older, we're handing that over to you.
Yeah, that's cool.
But what's your thought process when you're going to follow the rules or break the rules?
I weigh the reward to consequence.
This is fascinating.
The reward to consequence ratio of, is it worth it? Is breaking this rule that we have worth it?
Yes.
Most of the time it's not.
What's really interesting just about teenagers in general is that they overestimate not how like the consequence isn't going to be that bad. They actually overestimate the good of the experience. Like staying out with your friends an extra hour, your brain says, oh, that's going to be incredible. It's going to be so good. Not thinking, oh, I won't get in that much trouble.
I think for the most part, I'm generally pretty good.
Yeah.
Giving an accurate,
like what is it worth it kind of question.
Yeah. I think for the most part, I can do that pretty well.
Yeah. So that's your decision making. Yeah. Like if I get caught or when I get caught.
Oh, you don't know half the stuff I've done.
Okay. So if I get caught, then is it worth the experience, or was the like the crime worth the time.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Okay. We kind of had talked about this a little bit, but I was wondering, like, I teach this concept called emotional literacy,
Mhm.
and I wondered how you would define it.
It's being able to understand, being able to read and understand your own emotions,
Mhm.
and being able to accurately act on them,
Mm-hmm.
and being able to read and understand other people's emotions and being able to act on that too.
Wow, that was like textbook answer. You guys, we did not rehearse that. I'm really, yeah.
Well, it's kind of self-explanatory.
Is it?
Yeah, it
I
is.
don't know.
It's
I
like
don't know.
literacy.
I think
It's the
that it's
same.
literacy. Yeah, it's emotional
It's being
literacy.
able to read it, understand it, and then act on it.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay. Someone asked this question, and I'm nervous to ask you it.
All right, let's hear it.
I am really nervous. Okay, so the question is, do you feel that I raised you as a feminist? I knew this would be a hard question. And also maybe we need to define feminist. Like, how would you define a feminist? And then would you define yourself that way? This is a question that people want to know because you're a man.
Yeah.
And I'm a woman, and I'm raising you in this time. And women who are raising boys, they want to do right by the future generation. You know, they want to like raise people who are, you know.
Okay, I know how to answer this.
Yeah. Okay. So tell me, how do you want to answer it? However you want.
I think there's a lot of different definitions for feminist depending on who you ask.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if there's one clear-cut definition for it,
Mm-hmm.
but you have raised me as somebody who sees people regardless of their gender as equal and treats them as such,
Mm-hmm.
and understands the difference in struggles between men and women,
Mm-hmm.
and respects that.
Right. So it's not like that concept of colorblind where everybody is the same. The piece that you just said about seeing the struggle.
Yeah, I can understand where the hardships come and how they're different
Mm-hmm.
between the two.
You know, I could talk to you about this all day because this is actually one of the things that we love to do in our relationship, is to talk about like really big concepts like patriarchy or, you know, women's
Political
rights
stuff.
or political, like not political, but more like
political
philosophical
theory.
theories. Political theories, not like politics, like day in, day out, but sort of like economic structures and socialism versus capitalism. And like we go for it.
Yeah.
So I don't want to go too far down the rabbit hole, but when you think of yourself, would you define, I don't even know if I define myself as a feminist, but I mean, obviously I am, but it's an identity that I came to later in my growth and journey. But do you think like, yeah, I'm a feminist?
I would say that I agree with feminist ideals.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would describe myself as a feminist just because of how varied that definition is, mm-hmm. and what that means, mm-hmm. depending on different people. I don't want to lock myself into that idea, mm-hmm. or into that identity, because it means such vastly different things depending on who you talk to.
Interesting. Yeah. So you see yourself.
The core ideas of it, I agree with, mm-hmm. but I don't want to put that, not that it's bad, mm-hmm. but I don't want that to be, I don't know what I'm saying.
Yeah. It's similar to what I just said, like as a label or
an exactly.
Yeah.
I agree with the ideals of it, but I don't need it as an identity.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Here is one question I have for you is like, what's one thing that's true about you that I don't know or that I don't understand?
Something that you don't understand
mm-hmm.
as much is, I think you overestimate how like emotionally mature I am.
Oh, wow.
In terms of being able to control my emotions. Because I feel like you hold me to a really high standard with that. Mm-hmm. And I feel like I I'm not as good as, delaying gratification and not acting purely on emotion and stuff like that as you think I am.
Yeah, that's good for me to know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think I'm not bad at it, but
what I think is interesting.
I'm not as good as it as you think.
Yeah, what I think is probably true about you that maybe you don't understand about you is how aware you are
of it.
At
least I'm aware of it.
Yeah, like I understand that you think I have high expectations, and maybe I do, and it's something for me to explore. But I actually am constantly surprised at you by how emotionally aware you are and how good you are at articulating the messiness that's going on inside of you.
I can articulate it. That doesn't mean that
you can deal with it.
Deal with it.
Yeah. So that makes a lot of sense, especially kind of what you've been going through this year in terms of just like, school and, managing time and managing priorities and all of that.
Yeah.
And it's like,
I can pinpoint when something's wrong.
Right. You just don't necessarily, I mean, it's so common, honey. I just want you to know that like so many adults have strategies that they use, like, binge watching TV or overeating or over drinking or overworking or under eating. Like, all of us have these coping strategies. And I say over and over, like the awareness of it is so valuable.
Yeah. And, I mean, I didn't have a big answer for this question. I mean, no one here is going to hear it or know, but I mean, they will know. I took like a 2-minute long break thinking about how to answer this because I didn't really know what there was.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But I love it. I think that's again, a lot of awareness. And I would like to think more about the expectation thing and where I'm at with that. So thank you.
Yeah.
I have 3 more questions.
Okay.
The first one is, what is the best thing about our relationship? You kind of said some things, but what is the best thing about our relationship?
Definitely the conversations we have.
Yeah.
That's definitely the best part.
Yeah. That's true for me too. I mean, the best thing for me about our relationship is how much I delight in you. And like, it's very genuine. I just find you delightful. I find you funny and smart. You're just delightful to me all around. Yeah. And I always want to chit chat with you. I want to know what's going on in your life. Like, I'm just super curious, and it comes from a really genuine space. And then I think that makes our conversations really interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But we have the craziest conversations about like very, very high level philosophical stuff.
Yeah. And I don't really have that with anyone else.
No, me neither. A few people. Okay. As you turn 18, what do you think our relationship's going to be like as you get older? Like, sometimes I ask my parents that I work with to think about, like, I call it the positive parenting vision. And it's like, what do you want your relationship with your kid to be like in 10 years?
Right.
So what do you want our relationship to be like in 10 years?
I want it to be the same as it is now without the reliance on you.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to be, whether it's financially or like emotionally and stuff. I want to be able to be independent, and I think I will be able to. But I don't want to lose, the relationship that we have.
Like the friendship or like camaraderie or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So I want it to have a similar relationship to what we have now, just without the reliance and dependence on you.
Yeah. So are you gonna like call me and do stuff with me?
I'm sure I will.
Yeah. Do you want to do hikes with me?
Yeah.
Yeah. What about vacations? Do you think you'll go on vacation with me?
If you're paying.
Okay, there we go. Yes, the answer is yes. Okay. Last question.
Okay.
Is if you could ask me any questions.
I can.
What would you? Oh, you can. What is it?
Well, I mean, this is it's not like I need this medium to. I just kind of can.
Oh, that's so beautiful. So you're saying I don't need to say, if you could ask any questions, what would it be? Because you were saying I can.
Yeah, and I don't have an answer to this because I just do already.
Whenever you have a question,
there's not like a question I have right now that I want to ask you.
So like, there's no like deep, dark secret question you're like want to find out and put me on the spot, or any sort of weird question?
No, not really.
Really?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you, honey.
Yeah.
I do want to say that I'm really proud of you. I love who you are and who you're becoming.
Thank you.
And I've just had the best ride watching you grow up. It's been an absolute pleasure.
I'm very, very thankful that you're my mother.
Yeah, same. That I get to be your mom. So thanks for doing this podcast episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get a monetary reward from it's going to be pretty good. So.
Oh, yeah. I'm definitely paying him. Ha. Not at all. All right. Well, thanks, everybody. I hope you loved this episode as much as I loved doing it. And I find Lincoln very interesting, very delightful. And I am so glad that you got a chance to meet him and talk with him and listen to him. And I am wishing you the best week with your kids. All right. Bye. Hey, mama, if you've been listening to this podcast and thinking, oh my gosh, yes, I'm so ready to get out of this chaos and create more peace in myself and in my family, then I want to invite you to join Calm Mama School. It's my lifetime membership program where you learn how to stop yelling and feeling overwhelmed by parenting, teach your kids how to manage all of their big feelings, and set limits that actually work. It's lifetime access for getting everything you need to have the family you want and become the mom that you're meant to be. No matter how old your kids are or how chaotic your family is right now, I can help you create peace and joy in your home. To join, go to calmmamacoaching.com and get instant access to my online course and start coming to weekly coaching calls this week. I can't wait to help you transform your family. See you there. Hey, mama, if you enjoyed this podcast episode, I want to encourage you to do two things. The first is go to my website, calmmamacoaching.com, and get a copy of the Stop Yelling cheat sheet. You'll get a step-by-step breakdown of the most important tool I teach, which is the pause break. And you'll also get 40 ideas to reset your body and balance your nervous system so you don't have to yell at your kids. You can get a copy of that, again, at my website, calmmamacoaching.com/stop yelling. The other thing I'd love for you to do is go to Apple Podcasts and rate and review this podcast so that other moms can discover empowering and helpful, practical parenting strategies, just like you did today. Thanks so much for listening to the podcast. It means a lot to be in your ear every week and to support you on your parenting journey.